Mark Bellum, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. I'm here today with my boy, Silent Mike, and the Vanilla Gorilla, Blaine Sumner. Blaine has successfully squatted 1,100 plus pounds in competition in a single ply suit, and so he's gonna take Silent Mike and I through some squats. But before we do that, we're gonna take the Vanilla Gorilla through some warm-up.
Talking to Mr. Gorilla over here, I saw him pull 900 pounds like it was 135 to his knee, and I asked him why he did not lock this out. He said he purposely didn't lock it out. It was a movement, but then he also was talking about some of his lockout issues, maybe glute issues, and those are some things that I've gone through already.
See the glutes, big guy. Turn around.
I thought they were
Show
fine.
everybody what we got.
I thought they were fine.
The views are going up.
They're really not bad.
Views are going up.
Bunch of lady subscribers all of a sudden. And so I was just telling him some things I do to activate my glutes and then also to stretch out my hips, as well as strengthen my quads that have helped my personal lockout on my deadlift. So he doesn't like mobility. I don't like mobility. So these things take me. Mark has been on a fucking mobility and warm-up rampage.
That's why I'm so yogi.
So this has been taking me probably 5-10 minutes to warm up. Mark does a little bit more in depth, so he'll maybe do 15-20 minutes. But basically we'll just throw this little bitch on. Super easy. We'll walk around however we want, toes straight, knees out, and literally do anything. You can squat. I'll walk backwards. I'll sidewalk with it. This is like my actual warm-up portion, so I'll try to get, not a sweat because I'm still fat, but just some blood into my legs, blood into my body. So before I actually start to move around.
Are we above the knees or below it?
Wherever you want your tension. Yeah, either way, either way.
I like to have mine slightly above the knee, and I like to do some squats with it, just to start out.
Mine's kind of on my kneecap.
Above parallel, but the stress is I'm trying to really actually try to almost rip the hip circle apart. Try to really force the knees out hard, and you're not really worried about the range of motion. Just want to get some knee bend in there and force out hard equally on both sides. You can also kind of ease up on the tension and just squat down and then force the knees out as you go down. And you can kind of sit here, this kind of thing. As Mike was saying, very simple. You can just go side to side, squat down a little bit.
And Blaine was saying he has a kind of a desk job. Hips always get tight. Because hips get tight, often hamstrings get tight. And some things that I read or watch say it's in that order. Hips get tight, so hamstrings get tight, rather than people think, oh, I have tight hamstrings, so stretching hamstrings may not fix that issue. So we got to wake up glutes, and we have to stretch hips, and then our hamstrings will relax on their own.
Man, stand right here for a second, facing the camera. And feet pointed completely straight ahead, almost pigeon-toed. Almost feet pointed inward almost, okay? Getting a little bit of a squat stance. And now force this foot out hard, heel first, okay? And now drive the knee out before you move, and now bring the other leg. There you go. Yep, keep going, yep. Do like 2 more, 1, 2, and then back the other way. So this exercise is done correctly, you're gonna really get the hips smoking. But in your warm-ups, you wanna make sure that you get a little bit of a sweat going. You wanna actually get your body temperature up a little bit. Hip circle is a very low intensity, very easy thing to do first thing you come into the gym. We're done with that for now. Like Mike mentioned, you might be on that for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. Some sideways walking, forward walking, backward walking, and you're done.
When are you allowed to name an exercise after yourself? What do I have to accomplish?
So, okay, there's a rule. Normally, you publicly give somebody credit twice.
I think I've done that.
And then they're done. Well, if you already done it, then now it's yours.
So I am not accomplished lifter.
This is the Silent Mike hip stretch?
Yeah, I'm not even an accomplished YouTuber. I'm really nobody, but what I'd like to call this is, maybe the silent lunge.
Silent lunge.
Does that sound good?
I like it.
All right. Go pipe and smoke it, YouTube. So what we're gonna try to do is, like I said, stretch that, wake up that glute as we're stretching our back hip, and take our back out of it. You kind of mentioned your lockout, like, yeah, your erectors can kind of fire through stuff, but my lockout, I had to really strengthen my quads a lot, and just kind of force through the ground, as well as kind of open up so we can even lock out. If your hips are so tight, you can't even get into this position. It's gonna be so hard to lock out any deadlift or squat, depending. So what we'll do is just get into a lunge position, basic lunge, toes straight in the back, stretching that hip. I like to have kind of a rounded back. Obviously, we're using crazy light weights. I mean, he pulled 900 pounds off the ground, and now all he has is 70 pounds. It's not a big deal. We're not gonna get hurt. So I kind of go into a rounded back position, and then I'm gonna front kind of Bulgarian squat off this leg, and then at the top, I'm gonna squeeze my glutes and stretch that back. So I'll lead with this leg kind of rounded back, keeping my back rounded. I'm gonna flex this, flex that quad, then flex my glutes and back hip. I'll just get like sets of 12.
More,
even round your back a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, more
so
with the
stretch
back.
that glute, and then at the top, I want you to push this other hip through. So at the top, push that hip through hard.
Okay.
Feel that, and then back down. Yep, feel that, and then back down.
So I'm just feeling a ton in my left glute. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So left glute, and you should also feel that left hip flexor a little bit at the top if you can. Almost
You can
stretch
let your
it out.
back go a little bit more too. You can bend your back as well.
Yeah, I totally.
On the way
Now I feel that stretch in that.
So I totally try to relax my back, and I'm just trying to feel that back leg, that back glute, and that back hip. Obviously, it'll warm up the muscles in your front leg. We're kind of working on that back. And I'll just switch it up. I'll do like 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps.
That's rough.
Mark talks about it too. You know, people are doing too much mobility, too much stretching, maybe too much foam rolling rather than warming up. And when I found this, actually, when I invented this silent lunge, I was like, oh, this is great because this is movement and stretching through movement, you know, dynamic, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I feel good afterwards. I feel warm afterwards.
You're strengthening too because you're moving through a different position you never moved before with resistance.
Yeah, so try to really focus on just the hips, not even the back. Really relax your back.
A big thing that happens that people lose sight of, you would think that if you just squat all the time and you adhere to the range of motion necessary to get a squat passed in competition, that would automatically, you know, you're using full range of motion, that automatically ensure that we don't fall apart. But it doesn't, because when you're using so much weight, the way that this guy is using weight, you're gonna make your body tighter. It's hard to recover from those workouts. And with all the other stuff that he's asking his body to do with the benching and deadlifting and squatting and everything going on, there's a lot of chaos going on in the body. It never gets a chance to fully heal or recover. The other thing that happens is if Blaine was to use 300 pounds, 400 pounds on occasion, give himself a nice long period of time for a break, then maybe he would have a little bit better mobility, because when he's using those lighter weights, he can actually feel all the muscles that he's using during something like a squat. But when you have 1,100 pounds on your back, what are you feeling?
Heavy weight.
Yeah, it just feels fucking heavy, right? And you're just kind of fearing for your life. And so it's a much different stimulus when you get into the 800, 900, 1,000 pound range than it would be if you just had 300, 400, 500 pounds on there. Like a bodybuilder. A bodybuilder can have much better mind-muscle connection because they're using a lot less weight.
I think the squat's one of probably the most complicated of the 3 power lifts. There's a lot more going on than the bench or deadlift. A lot more ways to screw up. Your body can do a lot more weird things than it can in the bench and deadlift. Whenever I teach the squat or show people the squat, I like to break it down into 3 parts. The setup is the first part, the descent, and then the ascent. So when we're talking about walking squats out, it doesn't matter if it's somebody new trying to max out with 225 or somebody trying to squat 1,100. So many times the squat is ruined by the setup, the walkout. So the biggest thing is treating the walkout, even with 135. I'll treat 135 like I do 1,100.
Let's put 135 on there right now.
All right.
Oh yeah? Bet you can't do it.
I might not hit the ammonia and slap myself, but walkout's always the same. So I'm a big believer when we're talking about walking squats out in 2 steps at most. A lot of people like 3, and I think you can get away with 3. But when you're talking about hitting a max lift, you're talking about time under tension, your central nervous system getting tired, is 2 steps. And I think anybody can get set up with 2 steps. So when I'm getting under the bar here, I'm setting up with the same width stance that I'm gonna squat with.
So you might have a little bit lower rack than some people because of that reason.
Yep.
Makes sense.
I see so many people too getting set up with the rack too high.
Yeah.
They're walking out, I mean, they're having to get so extended and even come onto their toes a little bit to clear the rack.
Yeah.
On my heavy stuff, I'm almost doing a quarter squat. You know, I'm a bit excessive.
Right.
But getting
It probably helps you to create a lot of tightness that way.
Absolutely.
The lower rack.
Yep.
So I'm getting set up with the same stance width.
That I'm gonna squat with. And when I unrack this thing, I'm acting like there's gonna be 1,100 pounds on it. So, you know, everything's tight. Everything's tight.
It's up, and then it's 2 steps
So
back.
if you can back up again, do it again. So you just said, you know, you're unracking it like it's 1,100, but you also still did it methodically,
Yes.
because that's what 1,100 is going to look like. So if you tell me I'm going to unrack it like 1,100, I'm kind of thinking you might go, well, you know, try to.
Yeah.
But that would be a big mistake with a heavy weight to
Yep.
try to be too aggressive with it. It's going to bounce all around on you, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. You gotta control the weight. So again, we're talking about breaking the squat down into 3 parts. So we're set up first. So I'm here with the stance that I'm gonna squat with. It's up, I'm feeling the weight, I'm controlling it. It's 1, 2, and you're cleared.
Nice.
You know,
A lot of people, even if
if you get forward on the squat, 2 quick little steps like that, they're gonna get you far enough away from the rack that you're not gonna hit it. So here, I'm ready to squat.
Talked a little bit about the grip on the bar. Just because you're a big guy, that's why you're sticking your hands out wide, right?
Exactly, yep. And in terms of high bar, low bar, I'm also a big believer in there's no one right way to do things, especially when you're talking about squats. Different leverages everybody has. I personally prefer to do low bar. We'll take the muscle man over here. You can, with your
The
back to the
anatomy
camera, and you know, put your arms back like you're gonna squat. These massive rear delts here, I think they create a super nice shelf for that bar to sit on. So
Right.
when I'm getting here set up under the bar, I'm pulling those shoulder blades together to help pack that meat in to create a shelf for that bar to sit on. So pull the shoulder blades together and create that nice shelf for the bar right there.
Yep. That's good.
So that's pretty much the setup. It's efficient. You see a lot of people, especially beginners, come back and take 3, 4 steps, and they're getting way back from the rack. It's unnecessary. You're wasting time. You want to get that squat command and get going.
Do you like to stand there? I know in the USAPL you got to stand there for a little bit. The head judge, sends you a flare in the sky, and then it's written by a fucking blimp that you can now squat. But do you like to kind of wait there anyway a little bit and then get your air, gather, make sure the weight's stabilized and everything?
Yeah. So I treat the walkout so importantly that I'm using one of my important breaths, some of my energy to get
Right.
set up. So one breath to get the walkout done.
Right.
And so then I get set up, everything's staying tight, get the squat command, and then I get my last
So
big breath.
even without the squat command, you would probably just rather wait there anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're just trying to get
Feel the
yourself
weight.
organized before you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna mention how important just the minimal steps can be, because I don't squat, I literally squat half the weight you do. And with 500, 600 pounds, the bar starts to shake.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine with 7, 8, 9, 1,100 pounds, that bar's gotta be moving. You have to be in control of that thing the whole time.
Yeah.
Has there been anything in your training that you had to do as you got stronger to help you deal with those bigger weights in terms of the stability? Like I see some guys shake, and it looks like you and some of the other big guys, you get really, really good at just walking those weights out. Something you have to really practice all the time, or how does it?
Me personally, I don't practice. I never do overload
Right.
walkouts. I think it's one of those things for me that it's just been gradual. You get stronger over time.
It's practice every single time, every
Yeah.
single set, every single rep.
It's like the story of the farmer with his 2 baby cows. He,
Yeah.
he picks them up and
Yeah.
carries them, and they
Milo
grow.
or
And
whatever, right?
yeah. So
You're right.
we covered the first part, the
Right.
setup. We got that pretty covered. Pretty basic, but extremely important and extremely overlooked. So the second part's the descent, going down. One of the biggest cues that I like to talk about, if you're to watch this squat from the side, I want it to look like it's in a Smith machine. I want that bar to go straight down and straight up, like it looks like it's in a Smith machine. And that's, again, when I'm starting the squat and I'm breaking, my first move that I like to do is push the hips back a little bit, open the knees, not severely, push the butt back, open the knees a little bit, and go straight down. So trying to make that bar look like it's in a Smith machine.
So you squatted massive weights in a single ply suit and 900 pounds raw? and
Yeah,
sleeves?
915
Yeah,
sleeves.
so massive weights both ways. Is there anything that differs in that hip break or the knees on geared or not geared?
So in a single ply suit, you're getting a little bit more support through the hips. I try and squat pretty similarly in both. But in the gear, you can get away with pushing your butt back a little bit more. You got something to push into and support yourself.
So perhaps raw, maybe you break at the hips, but still then start to think of hips going down rather than back.
Yeah. Another super important piece that I like to talk about on the setup, and especially when you start to go down, I want almost 100% of my weight between the ball of my foot and the heel. I want to be twinkle toes here almost. I'm light on my toes. When I'm warming up and I'm in the bottom of a squat, even with 600 pounds, I can almost pick my toes up off the ground. I want 100% of it.
Sometimes fall back a little bit because of that?
It's absolutely.
Right.
A lot of times when I'm warming up, maybe 500-600 pounds is usually when it
too light
stops.
to really stabilize you.
Yeah, I'll get to the top and kind of need to catch myself.
Right.
So if you want to check it from the side here, I try to make it look like it's in a Smith machine. So kind of walk through again what I'm doing with my setup and everything. I got that shelf created for the bar. I'm nice and tight. I got the stance width that I'm going to squat with. Everything's tight. I come up. 1, 2. I'm ready to go. Everything's super tight. I'm going to push the butt back a little bit, open the knees just a little, and go straight down like I'm in a Smith machine.
When you push your butt back, are you gathering some air in your stomach at the same time, or did you already grab your air?
Already.
Okay.
So I get the squat command, and it's going to look like this.
Easy, bro.
Should.
Maybe you should go up. You talked about kind of the bar position and your philosophy that everyone puts in a different place and lifts a little different. How about breaking at the hips and breaking at the knees? That's a very common thing, and Mark and I have talked to a bunch of huge squatters, and some of them are a little like, this is the way, that is the way. What's kind of your opinion on that?
So I kind of started saying this earlier. The squat is so weird, unlike anything else. There's no right way for everyone to do it. Even if you take 2 guys with identical leverages, someone's going to feel better doing something one way and something doing another. I grew up playing football a lot, doing sports, so I'm kind of always in this bent over power position. It feels weird for me to have, be super up right here.
Yeah.
But you'll see world-class squatters with the same leverages. Comparing me, Carl Ingvar is a great one.
Right.
He's a little more upright.
Very similar builds. He comes so far forward with his knees. He's completely upright.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do 100 pounds like this. It feels so weird. He's super forward knee travel.
You're gonna tear your knees off, right?
Yeah. And then you'll have guys who, I'm more of a low bar, kind of push my butt back and lean. So I don't think there's one right way to do it. Setup, super important. Overlooked. Going down is huge. You lose the squat when you're coming back up. And one thing I see across the board, I'd say 90% of the way people miss squats is the same, whether it's high bar, whether it's low bar, equipped, not equipped, anything. They miss it because their hips start to outrun the bar and it turns into a good morning. So they'll go down fine, and the reason they miss it, the hips will start to outrun the bar and then they can't recover. So the biggest part, you can lean when you squat, but you want to maintain that lean. You don't want your hips to start outrunning the bar.
Don't want to lean any further.
Right.
Gotcha.
So easiest way to do it is just say, don't do it. Get stronger, because a lot of times, you hear it all the time.
Practice it every single time.
Yeah.
Every rep, every set.
Yep. And this is a perfect cue. I've done it instinctually, but it made sense when I heard Chad Smith actually talk about it, that your torso.
Second prettiest heavyweight.
Second.
Powerlifter.
I don't even know if we decided he was the second.
I know. What about Ray Ray?
We know he's not the first.
We knew he wasn't the
about Ray Ray?
prettiest.
Yeah, Ray Ray's gotta be in
What
there.
about when Mr. Shaw comes into powerlifting?
Yeah, he's pretty handsome.
He is a good-looking guy.
Yeah. But the great way to think about it is your upper body, your torso is going to mimic what your elbows do. So the biggest thing I see across the board, absolutely, when people miss lifts, their elbows and their forearms start to do this. So when they get up and the weight starts to get heavy, their forearms come like this.
Huh?
The bar rolls up the back. So a lot of different cues for it. Some people cue, elbows underneath the bar, forearms vertical. It's messing around. I like to think about elbows forward. So you start to come up out of the hole, especially hit that sticking point, and it's elbows forward.
Which kind of pops your chest up a little bit, right? Because before you do your squat, you get your air, you set your hips back. Is there anything you're thinking about specifically? Are you thinking about attacking and dropping down really fast? I see some guys kind of quote unquote dive bomb. I know you don't really squat that way, but I see some guys, they really believe that they need to attack the descent very hard. And other guys like to get there more methodically, like a Stan Efforting, and take like 4 or 5 seconds and then boom, explode up like you've never seen before. What is kind of your take on that?
I'm all about control the entire time. I think you'll see, looking at my equipped and my raw, they look a little bit different. The equipped, I'm going a lot slower down because everything has to be completely in line, in tune, in control. Raw, come down a little faster, a little more naturally.
Right.
And I always go back to the same thing, it depends. You can take two guys, same leverages, same strength. Some will
For
want to
yourself,
dive
are
bomb.
you thinking more about coming up fast than you are dropping down fast?
I'm thinking about staying extremely tight, extremely controlled until I feel myself hit the hole and then just exploding up.
Gotcha.
Elbows under, exploding up.
All right, well, me and Silent Mike
Yeah.
are gonna jump in on this and you can tell us how bad we suck.
All right, I hope you guys learned something today. Get your squat up, get deeper, get more
work on
mobile.
that. I'll work on that.
Keep them weight on those heels.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for everything you do.
All right, appreciate it.
Peace.